The inspiration behind this work started some time ago now when I was first given a tour of some of the laboratories at Babraham and had a sense of the history of the place, its purpose and indeed its future. As a maker, this was fascinating to me to see experiments set up, the kind of craft of science. So I suppose that was one of my starting points for HIVE.
Tania was particularly impressive in her presentation. We did like the relationship with nature in particular.
Her artistic side came through with speaking to the scientists that were on the team. We all thought it was very interesting the way that she used the hive to then translate into a solid piece of sculpture.
We wanted people to interact with it meaningfully. As the landscaping here grows as well, we want to open this up and make it something that people can actually get closer to. It's not just for the humans, but also interaction with nature.
So this hexagonal shape has many kind of scales to me. It might be something molecular that you might see in a microscope. It might also be a landscape, something like the basalt column landscapes that you might see at the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. Or it might be an architectural reference as well. I mean, there's a lot of new building going on at Babraham. The skyline is changing there. And I suppose I wanted HIVE to mirror that kind of architectural skyline, the way it sits along a kind of panorama in the landscape. So there are various sort of different scale experiences, as well as the kind of one-to-one scale of any visitor to the work.
And the way that the team here has curated the grounds, enhancing that landscape with art installations has been a sort of natural evolution. In recent months, as we've all spent more time outdoors, getting time to reflect in places like this and being able to engage with pieces of art is a great addition to the campus itself.
There's a planting scheme for HIVE, which is very much part of the work that's been developed with the gardener and plantswoman Izzy Glover and the gardeners at Babraham to celebrate the smaller parts of our kind of ecosystem that are so critical. And it felt like this was in some way a mirror to all these very industrious, hard-working scientists going about their daily business.
The sculpture represents nature, which is what the village is all about. We love nature. There's a connectivity between the two, and I hope the residents will appreciate the fact that we can link nature with 21st century sculpture.
In some ways, HIVE has only just begun because all this planting needs to get established and grow up around the work. There's a ribbon orchard that extends the reach of the work with a variety of heritage Cambridgeshire fruit trees to make a new kind of ecosystem around the work that's for the pollinators, planted with the longest possible season for generating pollen and blossom. So making this a very kind of attractive space for the pollinators, but also for the human visitor.
Being in Cambridge is a great example, because if we think about Isaac Newton and the famous tree, just down the road from here, that is how great ideas actually take place, and in biomedical sciences, the curiosity that drives the discovery process sometimes, starts at nature or art, so there is a number of, again, sources of inspiration.
I would hope that HIVE is something that people go to visit. They might take time out of their very kind of focused work in the laboratory to walk across to HIVE, just go and have a look, see what's flowering today, see if there are any apples on the trees yet, and take a moment to reflect on their day.
The wildflower planting, the fruit trees that we all help to plant will be here in 20 years' time, and everyone can enjoy the fruits of the labour, apple, pear, within sight.
I would hope people passing on the cycle path might also stop and think or enjoy something that's growing there, or a bee being busy.